Welcome back, folks, to World of Warships Legends. I'm Soopa-Dave, and today's build and play guide is on the French Premium Tier 8 cruiser. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. You guys aren't here for pronunciations. I'm calling it Napping Tim. That's all I'm calling it. All right. I have no idea, obviously, what other people think of this ship, being that I don't even think anything is out really on this ship. However, I can tell you I like this thing. Now, I am extremely biased towards super cruisers, so let me be clear on that. But this thing is a lot of fun. Let's get into the commander. I again gonna slaughter so many pronunciations in this video, you could set a record. Haseyuka, I think is her name. It's the commander that came out with the ship. And to be honest, uh, while I'm not huge on this commander, uh, she's very good on this ship, believe it or not. So we're using Membeli and Sarika. Now, I want to be very clear here, guys. I didn't have inspirations on for the first 10 matches I played this game, this ship. So when you see my stats, keep that in mind, even what they are. So, uh, now, her base trait trigonometry, we're using beyond range because at this tier, the range really does help, by the way. Because you are up against legendaries. In all my matches, I think I only went against one match where I was not bottom tier. Fortified, punch through, and asymptote. So your damage, as you get lose health, you do more damage, right? So it can be up to 11%. That doesn't sound like much, but that is a lot on this ship because you are going to be tanky. This is a very good perk and also helps on your reload. Now, if you want to take fixated, I totally could understand that because this is a good perk. This ship really doesn't need it, but if you did, this thing would be lethally accurate. We are taking fully packed, and let's get into the modifications here. We're using aiming systems mod 1. Prop and concealment is always in the 2 and 3 slots. And for our last one, we're taking main battery mod 3. And you can upgrade that by hitting down below. Honestly, gun control fire system, not a terrible option here either. I don't normally care for that, but in this scenario, not wouldn't be awful. Now, for your loadouts, you have 4 defensive AAs, 3 heals. They're not bad. They're pretty good for a cruiser, actually. And you could take a V catapult fighter, but I would not recommend that. And an engine boost. Now, this is a 20% French engine boost. All right. However, this sonar, in more cases than not, it depends on your playstyle, what type of matchmaking you get. Sonar might actually be more helpful, right? The few times that I have died early from eating torps. All right. And the engine boost can be very handy. Do not get me wrong. But sometimes you play the ship bow in. Sometimes you play it out on the flank because it is very quick. This ship is super versatile, guys. When I talk about a versatility of a cruiser, this thing is about as good as it gets for versatility, right? So let's get into the specs and talk about this a little bit. 61,000 health. You have a ton of health for a cruiser, obviously, right? This thing is a super cruiser. But you can see torpedo reduction 19%. You don't want to eat torps. That's the only mistakes I've really had in this game or this ship is there's been like 2 matches I ate torps. Outside of that, I've had really good matches in this thing, especially for not having inspiration. Main guns. I actually, now, for you guys that don't know, this is essentially a breast that's a little less DPM and definitely tankier. I these guns, are not bad at all. In fact, very good in my opinion, right? So they're 13-inch guns. They're eight. You have eight of them. They reload in 18 seconds. Your 180 turn time, even with the taking the main battery mod, is 35 seconds, which sounds like a lot, but when your guns are on the front, it's not bad at all. Like, you don't have nothing to worry about on that. Now, the HE 4800 and 35% fire chance. I have had a match. If I can find a screenshot, I'll put it here. Where I had like 20 fires just trying out the HE and a wither. All right, this thing can do fires if you want. However, the AP is very good as well. Now, I'm not saying this is an overpowered chip, guys, but it's super versatile and it's good at a lot of things. I wouldn't say it's best at anything, but it's very good at a lot of things. AP is great. Now, the reason I mentioned that the HE is very solid too, I had a match where I did that. We're going to get a little unlucky on fire chances in the match you're going to showcase, and I didn't want you guys to think that was something natural that happened. I've had very good luck with the fire chance on this ship, okay? AA defense, I have not run across a ton of planes in this thing, um, but it hasn't been overly amazing when I have. So, um, just remember that, right? Like it's not bad, but it's not going to save your butt either if a carrier gets on you. Maneuverability, all right? 31.5 knots, which doesn't seem super fast, but when you get that speed boost and you're doing around 40 knots, this thing gets around pretty quick, right? So, pretty solid. Uh, it also it gets around well, but it seems more agile than actually what the stats show. The turning circle at 720 is pretty decent for a super cruiser at tier 8, right? Tier 8 has a lot of long ships. It's not bad. Rudder is a little bit slow, but it doesn't feel that slow when you're in it. I know it's one of the things, but I've had nothing but good luck. Concealment is great at 10-8. I've gotten myself into some pretty cool little spots and really hard to get rid of in this ship with that concealment. You could build into the concealment, and I would understand that. Don't need to. Um, you can really do quite a bit, especially right now where everybody's playing way back and far off. You can get yourself in some pretty good positions. Stats. This is where you guys are going to laugh. Right? 16 matches. I've only survived 3 and only won 4. Now, is that because the ship is bad? Absolutely not. This ship is great. Um, this was pretty frustrating. I don't think I have to explain very much, right, guys? Main gun accuracy 46%. I'm averaging 91,000 damage, right? And I'm averaging 1.3 potential damage against me each match, meaning I am ultra hard to get rid of, okay? And on these matches, my teams have been absolutely murdered instantly, and I'm still holding my ground for a while, right? A lot of matches, my damage would be a lot higher on this off of two things. If I wasn't the only one getting shot at 7 minutes into a match, and also if I had some inspirations, I did the first 10 matches. I didn't even have inspirations. If you guys go back and look at the live stream, I didn't even put inspirations on my commander like an idiot. But still, even with that, in my teams dying instantly, these are really good stats. If you take out my win rate, obviously, because there's not much I can do, you can't carry a team very often. Uh, in this ship, you can be very helpful and you can help the outcome. But if you're gonna have teammates that die instantly, there's nothing you can do about it, right? If you take out my win rate, you can see this ship's stats is incredible. In fact, that's the second highest potential damage against me, I think, in any ship, or third. All right. We're talking about this is I know it's not, but this thing is very much like Alaska. It's more like Alaska than it is Brest because of the armor and its ability to tank damage. If this thing had a couple really, if the heals were really good in this, I mean, we're really talking Alaska. The main guns are awesome. It's not like I haven't played this thing. You know, it's 16 matches in it. This is a solid ship. I just have been waffled stomped by no teammates. And I'm not being rude to teams like my teammates. It just been unlucky with that, and that happens, okay? This is probably one of the worst I've seen it, though. Outside of maybe Wisconsin, I had really bad luck with that as well. That being said, though, guys, the stats, you guys can, they speak for themselves, right? I'm averaging 91,000 a match, which is good, decent. And I'm taking a lot of heat off of my teammates. I don't know how they're still dying, but they are. Now, for your armor. This is what makes this thing so freaking tanky. Alright? There is a weakness to this ship, and it's called Musashi and Yamato. That is the weakness to this ship. Right? You have 27 on your upper side plating, that light green there. And you have 30 on your uh, bow and stern. So you're actually in this ship, because of that 27 on the sides, right? That 27 can be overmatched by 16 inch or bigger, but your bow and stern can only be overmatched by Musashi and Yamato. You are better off to bow in this ship, and it does very well at bowing in. Trust me. All right. However, when you come across a Yamato or a um, Musashi, you have to be careful, right? Because what happens if you take all that stuff off that it overmatches? This is a Citadel right here, right? That's what you're working with when you Yamato's shooting at you. Yamato's can and will hurt you. Now, to everything else, you can. I mean, you can angle in this thing. It's got a really nice. It's got a 180 belt on it, and so you can absolutely angle the ships. And you can go that route on flanking. You just have to be careful when you give up a broadside in this, because not a lot's going to overpin you, and you are going to get citadeled if you go broadside. However, this thing, if you play it smart, absolutely tanky. Now, in this match that you guys are going to see, I am at the new map here at Loop, and we're up against that fleet there called Painkillers. And if you guys don't know, they are very solid players. Alright, they're going to spawn in the middle. I know this. We use our speed boost to get up to the island here. This map, I do not care for this new map at all. Not even a little bit. I think it's the only map I don't really like. Oh, man. But, that being said, we have put a... we're going to try to put a fire on Yamato. You can see we have been hurt a little bit. Yamato is not something you can really angle against in this ship, and he hurts no matter what he does, basically. That being said, we got a fire. He damaged cons. We're going to go ahead and shoot. Right? We're going to flip back over to AP because I've had really good luck with starting fires on this ship. You can see, however, we do not get a fire there, though. So we're going to go ahead, try it again to get him burning. And the HE is very good, in my opinion. Like, I've had, with these being 13-inch guns, you can pin a lot of stuff. And you can see we're going to get a couple more shells and no fires. You can see my frustration there. Unlucky, right? It happens. I had a match where I was really lucky. Had like 20 fires on this thing. So the one time I did kind of hyper use the HE. Now you can see we're using the island to protect the front of our ship against the Yamato, and I would recommend it. Now, for anybody that thinks this ship is not tanky, I want you to watch this match and what I'm about to do in this match, right? I have to push. There is a very good division of the painkiller fleet in this match. I cannot wait around. All right, I have to make a play before they kill off my entire team, which has happened to me every time in this ship. So if you do not think this ship is tanky, I am at legendary tier going against legendary ships in a tier 8 cruiser. All right. And I know it's a super cruiser, and I know that's one of my strongest things that I play. But this ship is absolutely tanky. And then this match is what the showcase is, because this was my battle highest of 2.8 or 2.6 million potential damage. People really tried to kill me in this match, right? Brisbane shows up. Now we do smoke part of the mountain here, which is lucky for him because he would have been dead if he hadn't. If the mountain didn't shoot some or take some of them shells off, Brisbane would have been dead. Now, we are pushing in. I want to get to the middle to help, try to stop that fleet of painkillers. They're very good. I need to do that, but I cannot do that with people getting our flank as we Citadel Montana. And if you think this is a fluke, or that only because I'm close up, I have Citadel the battleships on a pretty consistent basis, right? I wouldn't say you're going for the Citadel all the time, especially at range, but you can see we hit all our shells full pins there. Now, we're not getting a Citadel every shot, but we are beating this Montana up, and he cannot do much against us, right? He's going to shoot super structured. That's basically what he's got, right? We're going to go ahead and absolutely blast him. And there's, like I said, there's not much he can do. Now, I got to be careful. That fleet is behind me. But I cannot have people on both sides of me, right? You have to get rid of the flank, win your side. And that is exactly what I'm trying to do here, right? So we've helped get rid of that other battleship. The Yamato, we got really unlucky with fires on him, so we should have had a better outcome there. It happens. Now we have teammates starting to help us. And even with this Montana doing all he can... now, our shot hit the rocks there. And also, too, you're going to see, I think one of the shots, for some reason, I know there's like some conspiracy people think shells drop, or there is maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but if you saw that one shot at point blank range, I only hit 3 shells. Where people say shells don't drop. It's shots like that that make me believe that. Could have very well been dead from that. So, the painkiller fleet is now behind me. Alright, so we are going to try to do our best. We are unspotted right now, but I want to get into a position to get crossfire. And lo and behold, I'm spotted by Brisbane. Right? So again, we got to win our side, and I cannot let this guy have the flank. So, we're going to take a shot with our AP. Right here, you're going to see... Get our guns on target and stay angled to the painkiller's battleship. As you can see, we do significant amount of damage again to Brisbane. Now, you're going to see I switched to HE for a second, then switched back. A reason for that is burning down a Brisbane, not super useful when they have really good heals. You've already seen how much he's healed back. There's no point. I need to get him out, and I need to get him out now. You're going to see I get very unlucky here. This ship is very accurate. You've seen the stats. However, I am going to have be a little bit unlucky here. That's okay. I've had very good luck in this ship. Right? I can't complain at all. I do not think this is a broken, overpowered ship in my opinion. However, it played correctly. This is a very good ship. Because you're going to see me take a beating from this, you've seen me so far take a beating from this team and hold up just fine. And we're not going to be done just yet. Brisbane, We're going to go ahead, try to take shots, and we get unlucky. Once in a while with French guns, even good guns like this or champagne, once in a while they do crazy crap, okay? That's what they do. And also, this Brisbane is doing his best to dodge, so credit to him. He's also not a bad player. We did catch him earlier, but since then, pretty on point. And you can see my frustration right now with that. Should I probably have actually burned him down looking back at it? Probably, but most players are actually going to make a mistake and you're going to catch them. Especially in a Brisbane, right? Happened to run across a solid Brisbane player here that wanted to make our life a living nightmare. And that's kind of what he did, because he's taken my attention for 2 or 3 minutes. And then in them 2 or 3 minutes, go ahead, as we take out Brisbane. Oh, look. Our entire enemy team is dead. In 8 minutes. You think the other battleship's alive. Oh, never mind. See? The Painkiller's fleet has wrecked my entire team. Oh, man. So, but having this been my last match in 16... 16 in, I've had this happen every match. Instead of just letting myself die like I had in the other matches, I'm going to put up a fight in this one. All right? I know this is unwinnable, but I want to put up a fight. All the other matches, I just die when the fight's over. That's why I've died. Hasn't been necessarily that I've been in a position to die or anything. You're the last person left against 5 or 6 people, which has happened to me more than 10 times in this ship. You just get fed up. And I am a happy-go-lucky. I'm not mad at any of my teammates. However, I want to put up a fight in this one. I'm not going down without a fight, right? Here, I think I'm not going to get spotted well, so I put that fire out. Bad idea. Real bad idea. I actually didn't know both destroyers were over here at the time. I knew Jutland was over here. I didn't know Shimakaze was here. So we have Verdi out. We're going to take a shot at Verdi. He's going to go ahead and put some shells at us. We're not going to have any damage really from it. Jutland is doing Jutland things. These are the Painkillers, right? I cannot make a mistake here or I am dead, right? These are 3 really good players. Medallion, I take a shot, and he stops. I should have known that. This is a good fleet, right? That's on me. That was a poor shot. I just thought he was going to drive in a straight line, and he didn't. So now that we know he's going to do that, we're going to go ahead and shoot like he's going to stop again. And he does. And we get a good hit on him, right? But again, you can see we have just absolutely taking a beating in this ship this entire match. This was the 2.6 million potential damage against us as we get our high caliber, which is we would have had a long time ago had we been able to hit a 4th ship and we weren't just focused on getting rid of our flank. And no, I am not running and hiding. I got to turn around. All right, we are not going out with a fight, and I 100%. We do get rid of one of them guys. I want to get back. Obviously, I can't win this match, but I want to go out. I want to go out guns a-blazing. Okay, too many times as I'm telling these guys GG and trying to tell these guys GG for killing off my entire team while I'm rounding this corner, by the way. That's what I'm doing. Most of the times, or like I said, every other time when it came down to the end, I just kind of let the team murder me. This time, I'm putting up a fight. You can see we're going to go ahead, throw some HE down at Verdi. We're going to get him burning. That's what our goal is here. But you can see we're running out of points. All right. You can see even with me pushing in on our cap, we still lost the cap. Not much I could do about it. I had my hands full, obviously. And you can see we have another battleship over to the left. Now, This ship, if you give your broadside up, it can be bad. But, however, if you're angled a little bit, you're normally actually pretty good for the most part. You're going to see we're going to angle to both battleships. And when you're up against two battleships in this thing, just use HE and burn them both down. I've done it so many times in this ship already. You get multiple battleships up against you, just target them. As we get our dreadnought as well. So, like I said, just good ship, just very unlucky with teammates. It happens. I'm not whining or getting mad at my teammates. It just was a rough showing. A solid match for us, and kudos to the painkillers who absolutely just murdered my team. Nothing I could do about it, guys. I tried. Yeah, you guys murdered my team way too quick. You guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you folks next time. Have a good one, folks.